Well, most employers were already assuming that this was going to be upheld at some level, and certainly the key provisions that have impacted major employers, they've largely started to put things in play. Now, this really takes away the uncertainty going forward. They're going to have to think through the issues that are going to hit in 2014 and beyond. Really, it's the state health insurance exchanges that are where the action is. That's where the subsidies are going to come into play. A lot of new money coming from the federal government to help employees or people without coverage through their employer get coverage. Major employers and especially smaller employers are going to have to think about, do they provide coverage going forward, or do they potentially allow their employees to get their coverage through the exchange? Probably those with employees with lower paid workers may be more inclined to let them get it through the exchange because that's where the subsidies are the greatest. But it's not going to be a one-size-fits-all. Employers are going to have to think this through in terms of what do they want to do for their employees long-term, how does this fit into their overall human resource strategy, and specifically, where do they see themselves around in supporting healthcare benefits over the long run. Employers have had to react to health reform already. The first wave was really a series of benefit enhancements that became available to employees across the country. Things like age 26, people being able to cover their adult children under their plans, elimination of lifetime maximums. The second wave is some more compliance-oriented requirements that employers have to bring themselves into compliance. And those are things that now are getting solidified as a result of this decision. And the third wave really comes in terms of access. That's the 2014 changes. Employers are going to have to make significant decisions around what is my role around health care, and do I expand my eligibility to make sure I avoid the penalties that would otherwise apply, or do I potentially let my employees go to the exchanges? This is an even bigger issue for smaller employers because some of them will actually be eligible for subsidies themselves, and in fact, some of them may find it in their best interest to let their employees go to the exchanges. Employers for many years have been calling for a transformation of the system to focus more on value and less on volume, to actually develop higher quality but at lower cost. The level of increases we've been seeing have been just too great. Going forward, you'll see a series of stakeholders really collaborating and focused on that. Whether it's employers, major employers, you'll see state governments through the exchanges, and certainly the federal government, all coalescing around value. And I think that is going to have a broad impact on the system over time. Even things like accountable care organizations that are emerging across the country as we speak will become much more commonplace. And frankly, I think those are the types of organizations that employers are going to want to steer their employees to because they're aligned around value and that's what they want. This is the age of consumerism. And when I talk about consumerism, we went through a period where insurance companies played a major role in influencing exactly what care you could get. Today, we're living in a world where consumers are being put front and center. They're being given incentives, they're being given tools, and they're being given choice. That's reinforced in this law, and it will be central going forward. Is that a good thing? Absolutely, because consumers are the best judge of value, but only if they're not sheltered from the cost or the information that allows them to make wise choices. Some people are concerned if we focus too much on cost, we sacrifice quality. That's equivalent to bad health care. In fact, if we focus on high quality, evidence-based care, if we get more alignment around value, we not only improve quality, but we also lower costs. Beyond that, we also have to get people focused on their own health behaviors as well. And that's part of what this law reinforces as well. So I think these are some trends that we've been seeing all along, but this is going to accelerate it, especially as this evolves over time. I personally believe that this is not the end, this is actually the beginning of a huge transformation in the system.